ahead and get this next brother on the line. Good brother right here. He's a co-founder of LA Battlegroundz. We got him, bro, Alcatraz on the line. Yo, Traz, what's going on, fam? How you doing?
Oh, what up, man? What's going on?
What's good, Alcatraz?
Oh, nothing much. I'm just listening to you guys talk about Sharon being a bigot.
That's good. I'm like, yeah, we gotta talk. We gonna have to get that from the horse's mouth.
We definitely gonna speak on that, but yeah, starting off, man, I really want to say I appreciate you, coming on, man, and taking the time, man. I really appreciate that.
No, it's all good, man. All love.
Yeah. So for those who may not be familiar, with you or with LA Battlegroundz, kind of let people know, how did you get your start in battle rap, and how did LA Battlegroundz eventually come about?
Man, that's such a long story. In a nutshell, man, I've been into hip hop forever. I do music as well. My partner, the other co-founder of LA Battlegroundz, Armando Woods, he's been doing music forever. Yeah, he's been working with youth, keeping kids off the street, rehabilitating people with bad habits, drug habits. I've always been into helping people. We had linked up a while back to do a battle rap company with some other guy that didn't work out, and then we just formed our own thing together, man. And that was pretty much the gist of it. And then came up with the name LA Battlegroundz, and we just kind of kept it going from there. And we've been just trying to build ever since.
That's what's up.
That's what's up, Wing.
And that's kind of, when we had Alcatraz on before, that's kind of what you said then. I just want to, you guys are doing a lot. Like, from then to now, you guys are doing so much more and continuing to evolve. My first question I want to know, I don't think that we've actually talked since the Fly King I and Professo battle. But I do see the push with Fly King I. How did that come about? Because that was just the turn that I just did not expect. It's a great addition. But as far how did that development come about to me, or from your perspective?
Originally, Woods was the one that saw him, and he was like, "You got to check this dude out." And he was like, he's really dope. So I watched the footage. I think it was him and Jay Ross. It was on another league. Believe it was Just Us TV. And, so I saw him and I said, oh, he's gay. And he was like, yeah. He was like, I was like, but he's tight. And he was like, yeah, he's tight. And so we just kind of built from there, and we just gave him some matches. And then, honestly, he just kind of grew into his own star. Like, we just kind of nurtured it in the sense of, making sure he has gotten the right battles. We tried to set him up with the Daylight battle. Daylight, did what he did 2 times, never made the battle happen. He's got a battle coming up April 15th at our LABEEF3 event, which is the OGs versus the BGs against Remy D. So that's going to be a good look for him also. And it just pretty much it's just, we kind of look at who stays down with us, who appreciates what we do for them, and then we just kind of try to continue to build with them from that point individually, from him to Strick to B-Dot to whomever, you know what I mean? And sometimes, some of the guys actually, they grow to be even bigger, than they just look at B-Dot, look how big he's gotten, what I mean? So I'm hoping that the same will happen for Fly King. I mean, he's gotten, definitely a lot more notoriety, but he's definitely fighting an uphill battle, just because, people are going to be people, and that's just what it is,
Exactly.
So, and
I did see him on Prism. I didn't even realize that I had to tell him, I'm like, I didn't even realize you were on Prison Battle League, Sarah Connor's league. So that was just wow, against Callie M. I was like, okay.
Yeah, he went out there and cooked, man. I mean, no disrespect to Callie M. Callie M did his thing, but man, Fly King's like levels above a lot of those guys. There's some of those dudes that are dope though, but Fly King just like he can battle, man. The dude definitely can battle.
He really can. And that's what I was looking at. I was like, okay, wait a minute. This has to be a fluke. And I always do that. When I see somebody new that's interesting, I'm like, let me go check this person out and make sure this is not a fluke for real. And I was like, wow, because I really support what Sarah was putting together. So it was just like, I thought I had seen all the battles. And then when that one came out with, and I know Callie M from Callie M goes to, and I thought he may have been part of Brooklyn Mic Club, and so I had already known who Callie M was, and then Tez Love, they're really good, and I was just like, wow, to just see that, I was like, okay, so yeah, he's definitely no amateur to this. He's definitely moving his way up. I could see that. So it was just, like I said, that was a great addition. And, yeah, like you said, although you see the fact that he is obviously gay, but when you're listening to him, it's just like that shit goes out the fucking window to me.
Yeah, no, because the kid has bars. He can rap.
But, yeah, I told Perfecto, I'm like, bruh, salute to you, because he killed you, just so you know. I was like, he killed you. He definitely killed you. But salute to you for even pushing this battle, because it was a dope goddamn battle, and it definitely showed that I'm like, damn, the angles that he took, it was just like, oh yeah, he knows how to fucking battle. That definitely is that.
Dude, definitely.
I'm like, you may have dodged the bullet.
Well, you know, he has a battle out right now too from our last event, December Fest. You guys should watch that one. That was a really tough battle. I thought that was probably one of his toughest battles. I think just in back and forth with versus Link. You guys should check that out. So, and that's
I've seen that one.
Continue to give him, continue to give them all. You know, even guys like Link as well. Give them tougher competition. You know, time in and time out. So you know, hopefully we can make great battles out of it, and people continue to take notice of all the individuals. Link is also battling. He's battling Geechee Gotti. Yeah, that's going to be on
that. Yeah,
that's they got a lot of battles on that card that are fire.
Yeah, April 15th is going to be dope, man. We got Strick versus Young Cannon. That one's going to be crazy.
Oh wow.
You know. Yeah, Strick done worked his way up. He deserves it, man. He deserves a shot at a Young Cannon. And then from there, we'll try to get something bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I was going to say, on that card, man, I was telling B-Dot this the other day when we had him on. One of the battles that caught my attention, you know, all the battles are fire. Like, you know, I've been watching these dudes for a minute. But the back and forth recently was what really had me like, damn, I can't wait to see this battle. And it's the Yak versus Saint battle. Like, that back and forth they've been having in the groups has been hilarious.
Yeah, because Yak kind of looks at him like he's just some young dude, but, you know, and Yak is originally LABG. He started with us before he went on to all the rest of his endeavors. You know, he went on to flourish and do different things too. And this is his first time back in some years, so I think he feels like, you know, hey, homie, like you check this out, young boy, you coming into something that I kind of started, you know, over here. He was the start of a second class of LA Battlegroundz, you know what I mean? Second or third, I believe. I think it was second. So, you know, and Saint's one of those kids that's like, you know, Saint's really young. I think Saint's something like 19 or something like that. So, you know, but Saint doesn't really, he don't get shook, man. I don't know if you guys seen him against Geechee, like, you know, and people told me I was being biased or whatnot because I thought Geechee was flames and he was spitting, but my thing with a battle is always, you know, I mean, I love the stories and all that and the authenticity of everything. I love it. But at the end of the day, you're still battling an opponent. And I didn't feel that he was attacking Saint in that battle. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it was more so like him telling him a story of, like, you know, how real he is. And it's like anybody that knows Geechee and where he's from is like, we know how real he is. You know what I mean? But in battle rap, I think it has to be a little bit more direct. And I thought Saint was really direct in that battle, and he held his own. He didn't really have no slip-ups, and it's going to be a good battle, him and Yak, man. It's going to be a good battle, and especially because they talking all kinds of shit. So it'll be interesting to see once they get face-to-face, because everything changes once the lights come on.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. But, yeah, I wanted to ask you, because I noticed, how you guys book a lot of the battlers, like Danny Myers, YK. You guys book the battlers who always come with 3 full rounds of fire. You guys don't, like how other leagues, they always go after a name and they just trying to sell tickets or something like that. You guys, really be putting the battlers on the card that are going to give a great performance. Is that something that you guys make a conscious effort to do?
I mean, yeah, our thing is, the one thing that we do at LABG that no other leagues I can really say let me just say this. I don't even want to make no competition. The one thing I'll say that we do, that I know we do, is we cultivate new talent. We've been able to find different people, and I won't say we discovered people or whatever, you know what I'm saying, like in terms of, like, obviously these people were people, right, before, and they were doing whatever they were doing, music or what have you. But a lot of the dudes that their battle careers, they started through us. And, I mean, you just got to go way back to the beginning, you know what I mean? Like, dudes like Know It All, who Strick battled, I believe was at LABEEF3, and you just kind of go through the classes from where you had the Elephant Graveyard Cats, and then you had, like, West Coast Dread, and you've had Yak the Ripper, and you've had Kid Clutch, and you've had Dre Vicious, then you've had Young B the Future, you've had, like, all these people, you know what I mean? Because, like, they just continue to come, and they've all been doing their thing, but for something about our platform, and me and my partner talk about this all the time, something about our platform draws attention to certain battles. Even when Young B passed, rest in peace, Young B, one of Snoop's favorite battles, he said, or 2 of his favorite battles was Young B versus Danny Myers, I believe, and Young B versus Dre Vicious, which were both on LA Battlegroundz. You know what I mean? So it just goes to show, like, whose eyes are on the matches we're putting together. So, I mean, to answer your question, that's pretty. I don't know if I answered it direct enough, but that our thing is just putting on great battles. Like, we've booked bigger. Like, we had Shotgun Suge come through, and, like, we've tried to book bigger names. And to be honest with you, man, a lot of these dudes, if it's not URL or KOTD, they give half-assed efforts, and we're just not going to put our money up for somebody that's going to come give a half-assed effort, and then, you know what I mean, and then we feel some kind of way about it, and, that can always lead to other stuff that just is not battle rap related, so we just kind of stay away from it.
Right.
Yeah, that's 100. Like,
so, but there are some bigger names that come and give great performances. Danny Myers is one of them. You know what I'm saying? He's thing about Danny is he's consistent, bro. He loves battle rap. Young Cannon will, the reason why we booked him was Wood's idea, and I think you can just see in his work ethic, you know what I mean? He's not one of those guys that slouches. We'll probably be bringing Cortez soon also, you know what I mean? We were already trying to make that happen because we were actually the ones who originally were trying to negotiate that Cortez versus B-Dot. And then, the homies over at KOTD, J Pro and them, they they have bigger budgets over there, so they snatched that match. So, and we're not mad at it, you know what I mean? Sometimes certain things just work out for whatever reason, but I was there to support B-Dot, make sure I was there in his corner, you know what I mean, to watch him do his thing. And I don't care what nobody said. He beat Cortez 2-1, if not 3-0 to me. So, and that's not biased.
Definitely don't ask
yeah,
you what you thought.
That was my opinion too. That was my opinion too. I had it as a 30 for real, because to me it's about substance. That's my preference is substance in battles, and I feel like Cortez had a good. It was a very nice first round, but I think it was a great first round because of shock value. You know, when people battle B-Dot, they love to get that shock value out the way at the beginning, so then people are like, oh shit, B-Dot, you know, he's against the ropes right now, but you know,
right. Yeah, he did have a great first round. He had some great things that he said, too, waking up to the graffiti on the wall line, and that was probably one of the best lines that I remember. I think battle rap's a chess game. So, you know, he played a certain card, and B-Dot, even with him going first, B-Dot didn't do what he anticipated. So to me, that null and voided anything he said, no matter how dope it was, because it's still a chess game. And if you choose to take a certain angle and then your round had nothing to do with what he's saying, then it doesn't matter anymore to me, because I'm like, yeah, that's dope, but it doesn't. You know, it's like the whole Eminem angle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna talk about myself. What else do you have left to say about me?
Right.
Yeah, that's facts. We were talking to B-Dot. We had mentioned the whole Averb situation and how that kind of had fell through. In the future, going forward, would you guys see yourselves booking that battle if you know kind of got brought back up?
I'll tell you exactly what happened. You know, without putting too much out there, the dude was a certain price. It was too much for our budget. Then he came down on price, which was an amazing price he came down to, but we had already kind of gone forward with our budget for LABEEF3, because we don't sit there and wait on one match. You get what I'm saying? Like, we had to move. Like, okay, you know, you're not going to negotiate, then we got to move on.
Right.
So that's the only reason that battle didn't happen, was because when he decided to come down in his price, we had already moved forward with booking all these other matches, and it was like, damn, it's not really nothing left to put towards this, although it was a great price. And I told Dot that. So, you know, that battle's probably still going to happen. If we can make it happen, I say we'll make it happen. I have a feeling, I haven't talked to J Pro and them, but I have a feeling they might make that happen over at the bunker, at the KOTD, which is fine. Yeah, I mean, 'cause like I said, it's for me, you know, I don't mind these guys. You know, that's the whole point. You know what I mean? Like, we want them to get, you know, bigger matches and bigger platforms. You know what I'm saying? And then as we grow, because the thing is that our relationship with Dot is not going nowhere. So, you know, should we come into like a big, huh?
No, say he expressed it on the show. He definitely expressed it on the show.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, he could go on to battle, you know, Averbs, you know, at KOTD, the bunker or whatever, and then, you know, we come across a sponsor or an investor or something that, you know, gives us the proper budget, you know, that we need, and we could turn around and make just as big of a match, and he's going to come do it with us. So that'd
be dope.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. Like, you know, and then you just never know. Somebody else might get, you know, really, really big and popping, and guess what? They might call B-Dot out, and then he's going to have to come back and, you know, if he wants to, not have to, but if he wants to, he's, you know, give somebody else coming up a shot because he's made his name. So people, you know, because there's already enough people, a bunch of people that want to battle him, but, I mean, they just have to generate the kind of interest where he would be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll take him. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll give him a shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like he, you know, just like when he came up.
Yeah.
Right, but and Daylight gave him the shot.
Yeah.
And then Star was born.
Danny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like one thing I can't say is out of all the leagues, honestly, and this is not being biased because it's the West, you guys do have probably the best quality of battles, even with the battles that people may not know who the person is per se because their name hasn't been developed. You guys do have a very good quality. Like, I just got to watching you guys' last event. I think the last battle I was watching was the Strick battle. And
Strick versus Cali.
You know, I was watching that, man. That was that was a great Strick performance. I was almost talking to somebody like, man, to see him go from B-Dot to that battle, it's like, man, you could already see him just, the improvement is just there. Like, he looks like he's ready.
You definitely said something about that. I was going to ask.
Yeah, the quality of your battles is just so fire. You know, I wanted to go ahead and let you guys know that. Like, the quality is amazing.
Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I was going to ask, too, Alcatraz, as far as like, we're kind of piggybacking off what you were saying with, it seems like kind of the union when it comes to other leagues or whatnot, AK or, you know, the bunker, you know, and King of the Dot. Does that, how can I put it? Does it seem like competition more so, or just the fact that, hey, we can all work together to pretty much get the same result or evolve together? I mean, how do you look at that?
You can't really be in competition with a company that's been established, you know, almost 7-8 years ahead of you.
Right.
You get what I mean? Not to say that you can't catch up to them, but that's not a thing of competition. I think I think they've seen the quality of battles, as you guys said, you know, that we're putting together. They see what we're doing. They see the talent that we're finding. If they didn't see it, then you wouldn't see people like Yak versus Ron Compton over there, or Geechee Gotti versus Saint, or B-Dot versus Cortez. Like, you got to look at those cards. So they're working to tap into the market that we've kind of created over here. Like, we're the first ones that created something where you have Bloods and Crips and Essays and different, you know, together, and nobody's tripping. Like, no other league was doing that. That's one thing that I will say. Like, no other division or league, whatever they call themselves, we're a division, you know, has done that. And you know what I'm saying? We were the first ones doing it, and we've continued to do it and have prosperous prosperous positive events, you know, where people continue to come and they see what we're doing. And now we've added performances, you know, to it. Like, you know, August Blue is one of our really good friends, man. He became a good friend with all of us. And, you know, he came because his first event, he said Dre Vicious invited him. You know, and Dre Vicious is another dude that's been, you know, a big factor in he invited Young B the Future to do the CDF tryouts. Like Dre's been, you know, a good asset, you know, to LABG in terms of he's invited, and, you know, the people that he brings, and when he performs and stuff. He's definitely, you know, a good solid guy too. He was actually also helped us out when we did the CDF tryouts at the Watts Towers. I don't know if you guys ever seen that footage. You know, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, Brother Greg, you on the line?
Yes, sir. I'm listening here soaking up all this good information. You feel me, brother? Sometimes it's best just to be the fly on the wall. You heard me?
Yeah, but real quick, I wanted to ask you something. I brought this up to a few people. Brought this up to B-Dot. I meant to say this to Geechee, but I made a post, and I was talking about if you had like a starting five for like your region, like if the West had a 5 to go against any other 5 from the East Coast, the Midwest, you know, DMV, all them to South, wherever, I said that we would wash anybody. But I wanted to get your take, like, if you had to pick 5 to go ahead into an event, who would be the 5 battlers that you would pick?
Are we going urban or more suburban?
Just best 5, like whoever you feel
you can't
like the material that you like.
You can't do that. I can't do that because certain styles clash. They clash too much.
Well, I would say this.
The West Coast not washing the East Coast.
The West Coast is killing the East Coast. Get out of here.
No, y'all not.
See, I'm on the East Coast, but technically I'm not because I'm under the Mason-Dixon line. So New Yorkers look at me from down south, so I don't have no picks in this. But I will say this: as hard as establishing a team on the West Coast because they have some elite spitters, dope rhymers, very unique battlers. If you was to put, when Nico brings up the idea of top 5, because we had this conversation before, I would look at it as far as matchups and not who was just particularly the best at one cent. Because clashing of styles make the perfect sense as far as when it comes to battling. So if you was to see, before you pick your 5, you would have to pick the top 5 from the East Coast to go against to make your matchups, in my opinion. So
yeah,
if you
I
just
would agree with that.
That's
but if
factual.
I just had to pick the best top 5 on the West Coast period, and we're not worried about who they battling or whatever, then I would say like definitely Daylight when he's being serious, Danny, Disaster. I would definitely put B. Dot in there, and I mean, I guess just according to what he's been able to do thus far, I guess you would have to put Rum Nitty in there.
No, I'm glad you said that. Sorry, Rum Nitty is not included no more. Smack has adopted him. He kidnapped him from the western part of the United States. He is officially beat. No, I'm joking. But
yeah, he raps like a New York rapper. Like that's the thing, and that's not no diss to dude. Like, I mean, I was talking to my boy. I was talking to my boy Glasses about this. I'm like, he tight. I'm like, but he rap like a New York rapper. I'm like, and the thing is, like, I mean, I showed G some of his battles, and it's like, he's like, where he from? Because he's from Arizona or something like that. And, you know,
correct.
like my boy G, he from 7th Street Watts. You know what I mean? And, like, you know, when he listens to him, he like, yeah, like, you know, some of the things that he talk about, they, like, it don't resonate with us out here in L.A. Like, it don't. Like, so that's why the style that he has is dope for URL, because he has more of that, like, just bars, and then every now and then he'll make some West Coast references where he knows what he's doing, so he'll make sure that he'll say something that anybody on the West Coast can relate to. Yeah. So that's you know, that's cool.
So can I ask you this? As far as being a supporter of West Coast, putting on a wonderful league like Battlegroundz, do you relate? I mean, when you look at battle rap, do you look at the people that you resonate more, that you can relate to more, or you just look at rapping abilities?
You mean in terms of when we book them?
Well, yeah, that as well. You know, as far as personal interest in how you book certain people, how they would resonate, and how they can come over and translate to the West Coast when you book them, and how do you look at rappers as well as far as relatability?
I mean, we just pretty much look at skill level. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if they're dope, if they can control a crowd, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, it don't matter really where they're from. That's one thing about L.A., you know, a lot of people come through and get love. I mean, we've had Alonzo Green on our platform. We've had Elo Stacks, both East Coast cats. Manny Moolah. Who else have we had? R.A. comes. I mean, he's from New York, and people love him too. So I think, you know, pretty much, I mean, for me personally, I mean, I just look at skill and the overall package, in terms of, you know what I mean, like performance, delivery, character, charisma, like all that shit plays a part. So, and, you know, I hadn't even had a chance to talk to B-Dot about that, but, you know, I was talking to a couple of friends about it, and it's interesting because now that I've seen him up against a veteran like the Cortez, as dope as B-Dot is, and I know he beat him, when you look at the performance, if you pay close attention, you can see the difference in comfortability from a Cortez to B-Dot. And I don't know if any of you guys are with me on the same page with this, but like Dot, and it's not nothing towards Dot, it's just he hasn't been doing it as long as a lot of these guys. Like dudes like Cortez been doing this shit like what, 15 years?
Yeah.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So sometimes, you know, those are the things we're looking at in terms of who we're going to bring, because we do have guys that have that knack, you know what I mean? And that's also kind of how we start looking at how we want to book our matches too, like in terms of like how Miss Lady asked earlier about Fly King, like how does that happen? How do we start working with them? Well, you know, we just start seeing who we can match them up with to give them better battles. But, you know, sometimes a lot of guys want like these bigger names and they don't realize, they just go, oh, I got bars. And it's like, yeah, you got bars, but you ain't never been in front of this type of a person. This dude does this shit. They don't see the difference because they just look at it as, oh, it's just a battle. But on camera, you can see the difference. You can definitely see the difference in somebody who's a veteran who's been doing it.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know, like
definitely.
I never paid attention to it as much till my boy Glasses was kind of breaking it down to me. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Like you know who controls a crowd really, really dope, and I mean I always knew he was dope, but I just never realized like how much power he has, and that's why their battle was so crazy. Is Lux and Hollow. Like those dudes will be hard. Those guys are on another level, bro. Like you can't just put them against anybody.
Facts. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, Lux and Hollow was my favorite battle of all time, personally. It was just, it was monumental. But as far as controlling the crowd, Hollow definitely does it, even though sometimes he gets a little corny to me, but that's just a personal preference. As far as him setting up the delivery and waiting and letting the people wait for his punchline to build up, he has it. And I think that comes with not only veteranship, experience, it comes from being multicultural as well. He has a West Coast feel. He grew up in Houston, wherever he grew up at. You feel what I'm saying? He claims New York. So it's really no place that he can't go and captivate a crowd. You dig me? Mm-hmm. I think the first time him and Pat State battled, they wasn't even in the States, if I'm not mistaken. In the same way with Lux, because he built an aura around him. There's a lot of other battlers that has that critique as well. I think Daylight has it when he's serious, because when he went on that URL stage, everybody was waiting for it. B-Dot has it as well. It's a select few. It's a select few, and that's a skill within itself.
It's a fact.
Yeah, no, I agree. Fact. I agree.
I wanted to ask you, since the Danny versus B-Dot battle, which to me, that was clearly Battle of the Year last year, and in my personal opinion, I think that was it. To me personally, it's top 5 to me because it meant something. Like an Av versus a Nitty, it was a great bar fest, but it didn't mean anything. It was just two guys throwing bars at each other. That Danny versus B-Dot, that meant something because that brought an attention and a look to the West that we have never had as far as battle rap is concerned.
And some things are just meant to play out that way, bro.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask you, since that battle, since that battle has been out and everything, has like battle rappers' attention towards LA Battlegrounds been different? Have like certain battlers been wanting to come on the platform now? Because I know a lot of people didn't really know about LA Battlegrounds before that battle, and it's like for me, I've been watching y'all for years. And, that battle just gave y'all, like, the spotlight where it was like, okay, now y'all really getting the respect y'all deserve because it's long overdue, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, definitely we've gotten hit up. Yeah, we've gotten hit up by some different guys, definitely, like I said, like Cortez, Aver, think Bill Collector, a couple of different people hit us up. I don't know. I mean, I'll just be honest. I still feel like sometimes, I still feel we get overlooked a lot. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? I guess I can't say more than that. I do feel sometimes we still get overlooked. But at the end of the day, one thing that me and Woods we enjoy doing this. We appreciate, the people that support it and support the movement and come through and are consistent. We have people that show up, every event they're there and, they repost things and they retweet them and Instagram and all that stuff. So, I think we're just our thing is our purpose is just stay consistent, stay doing what we do, and continue to find the new class of people. I mean, we got a whole new crop now. We got Primo Crees, we got Ratchet. Who else we got? Those are the two. I guess you could say studs that are coming up that y'all need to be on the lookout for. Is Primo Crees and Ratchet. And
definitely.
Dopey is another one. You know what I'm saying?
Fire.
Dopey takes a little. I think he's like crazy dope. I think he takes a little getting used to for some people because he has a little bit of the speech thing going on. I'm not sure what you call that, but I mean his bars are ridiculous. He schemes really well. So that's our thing, man. We just gonna continue to build and look for new talent and bring in new talent and continue to build.
All right, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to relate to John with this, and I want you to answer this question for me. It took a while, as far as dealing with hip-hop as a whole, which I'm excluding battle rap out of this situation I'm building up. Dealing with rap in general, everybody knew that New York was the headliner, was the front runner of the creation of it. So we already know that. But it took some time before the West Coast got into it, and then when the South got into it, the Midwest and all these things. And now when people look at hip-hop as a whole, the first thing that somebody like a millennial like myself or somebody that was born a Gen Xer, they wouldn't look at hip-hop as being a New York foundation. Do you ever think it'll be a time where so much talent is coming from the West, the Midwest, and down South where when people look at battle rap, the first thing that they don't think about is Harlem or New York or Smack? Do you ever think that battle rap will get to that plateau?
It can, I guess. You know what I mean? That's a tough one right there because one thing about battle rap is definitely a New York thing. You know what I mean? It was definitely.
So was rap.
You know what I'm saying?
Rap was a New York thing at one point in time as well. But people don't look at rap no more.
Yeah, but lifestyle's different though. Like the reason why I took even battle rap now in the West, it's still rough, bro. Like because and it's not. It's not saying people. It's not about who's tough or nothing like that, or who's tougher. But the West Coast is different. Like New York know how to crack and snap on each other, and you know what I mean. And it's all love. But on the West,
with no egos.
But on the West, if you talk about somebody's daughter or something, he probably gonna want to punch you. Like that's not a joke. You know what I mean? And like there's a few people now that get it, which is why the battle rap culture is growing. But I think that's also there's a lot of more politics over here too, which I really don't want to talk about because I'm not, at liberty to talk about them. But when it comes to street politics, like, you know what I mean? Like that shit gets real deep because you could have somebody that's really dope from one hood that doesn't, and another dude that's really dope from another hood, and their hoods don't get along. But these two actually talk to each other just because of the battle rap, and they're cool with each other. But you couldn't throw an event with them because if their homies show up, then there's not really nobody that can just be like, oh, nothing's gonna happen. You know what I mean? And
correct.
You don't want to put people at jeopardy because of that. So I think that has a lot to do with it. Now, as far as the down south and all that, I don't know if they could maybe the Midwest. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I couldn't say. I mean, I'll say one thing. I know it's the biggest it's been ever on the West. In terms of Los Angeles. Because, see, it was real big in the Bay because the Bay is very much like New York savvy. Like their style is West Coast, but the way they get along is a lot more East Coast. That's why the battle rap got so big over there when they was doing the grind time movement.
Yeah. But, yeah, I said the exact same thing
I was just about to bring that up
day,
too,
because I'm born and raised out here in the West. I'm from Sacramento, so battle rap for me, I was like the only person to ever be into battle rap out here on the West. A lot of people they would think battle rap, they think Cassidy, they think old Murder Mook from like Smack DVD, and then that's it. There's no connection to today's battle rap. So for me, I would get annoyed. I'm like, man, y'all gotta check out this battle. Like, man, he talking to him. Like, man, this battle's fire. And they'd be like, man, I wanna watch the battle, man. I'd rather just go over here and chill or something. It's like it's completely different. But I always told people, like, because I remember when I was watching the B-Dot Cortez, and Cortez threw that little personal shot at the end of his third about the about B-Dot's hood. And I was kind of like, when I seen it, I was like, man, I made a comment. I was like, bro, you guys from other places can't come out here to the West Coast throwing people's hoods or rival hoods in your mouth and think it's sweet.
Yeah, but they don't know
because the person you're battling can be. But that's what I'm saying is like they need to be aware to just not say, because I know they feel like, because out here we're almost in our fourth generation of gangbanging. Out in other places, they're barely in their second, so they're not really up to speed to where we are now. And it's not being disrespectful or trying to take shots at them. It's just a fact. It's like what you guys are doing right now. We did that, like B-Dot was saying, we did that back in the 80s and 90s. Right now, the gang politics is way different. So a lot of things out here you can't say. And I'm glad, somebody level-headed like B-Dot that, heard that shot and, kind of just laughed it off and was like, kind of be cool. But that's one of the biggest reasons, like you said, we've never been able to build. But now you got cats who have that original West Coast feel, like B-Dot, Geechee, Dre Vicious, a lot of others who just have that West Coast sound and that feel that when you hear it, it's like, like I remember growing up to that. Like that's that feel. And I feel like now that the West is starting to get, a little more respect. We still not getting our full just due out here at all. But now that we're starting to get a little more attention, we have the people now who are able to,
Can I say this real quick? Can I say this real quick? I'm starting to think that Easterners are starting to warm up to y'all, because you gotta think a lot of battle rap fans that's on the East Coast are fans of somebody like Game. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not like they're not open to it, but I'm not from New York. You feel what I'm saying?
I agree with you on that on a music level, because they've been accustomed to hearing that since the 80s. But on a battle rap level, how every other region of the country is behind when it comes to the gang culture, we're behind in battle rap like that.
Yeah. That's why I was asking you the question. Like, do you ever think it'd be a point where where it would catch up? You feel what I'm saying? Where they would meet on a certain plane.
I mean, because y'all got spitters. Well, but here's the thing. Like, you got to understand, like, okay, this is going to sound crazy to you probably. I don't know. But this is how I look at it. And I think I talked to B-Dot about this. Danny Myers and Daylight are Murder Mook and Loaded Lux.
I can see that.
That's a fact. That is
a classic battle, though. That is a classic battle.
Okay, so now look at it like this. Even though Daylight's been around since the pit, like they just started shining, 5-7 years ago? If that?
Yeah.
How long
for real.
About Murder Mook and Lux? I've been knowing about them since I was like 18 or 19. That's over like 12 years or something. Like Murder Mook was like 16 years old battling Party Artie or some shit like that.
Yeah,
17
I
years
was
old.
in junior high school ditching classes to try and cop the Smack DVD to go home and watch it.
Right. So my answer to my man is, yeah, it can, bro, but like you just said, we're behind. Like this is new over here. So you're just now getting, you know what I mean, like the B-Dots and Dre Vicious and you know what I mean, like, you know, and I mean, and the thing is, no disrespect to the dudes that like say Disaster and Awkwards and Ilmac and all them dudes is fire too. You know what I mean? Like all that whole class of grind time type dudes. Arsenal came from that one, but you know, it's just I don't know. It's just different, bro. It's just different, I guess. I don't know why you know, that's why I tell you, you know, to me, it's a separate type of a thing. Like, I'm not saying those guys are not hip hop. They are, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's different. It's not, to me, you know, the battles that happened in grind time, you know, even on camera were not.
It doesn't really give you the full visual of West Coast, pretty much.
Right. Definitely not Los Angeles. Let me just say that, because most of those dudes most of those dudes are not from Los Angeles. They're not from Compton, Watson. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know, like a Diz, he comes back and forth. Lush One comes and hangs out back and forth. Like, they have homies in the area, but they're, like, that's not, they don't, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's not, like, that's not a representation, like, of a Daylight. Like, Daylight, you could say all you want about Daylight. Oh, he'd be doing goofy shit, blah, blah, blah. But Daylight really grew up in the Jordan Downs. Like, he's really from Grape Street. Like, he's really a Crip. Like, this dude, there's, like, when, I don't know, like, he had said some shit in the B-Dot battle where I think he felt like he had to address something after he was sitting there playing around, and he realized B-Dot was talking to him, and he was talking about, like, you know, how he doesn't want to be, you know, be serious all the time because he had to do that already. You know what I'm saying? And to keep it a buck, man, like, I never grew up as a gangbanger, so I can't speak on that. But I grew up around a lot of gangbangers. So my homies that I have that are for real gangbangers, like, they don't glorify that shit, bro. Like, they're not into really glorifying that. Like, that's not dudes that really had to shoot people over certain stuff and do things to people. That shit's not cool to them. Like, I hear them.
That's
talk
real
about
shit.
it.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Like, they really did that shit because they had to do it. But that's not something that they're just like, oh, yeah, man, you know, da-da-da-da-da. Now, if they get around their homies, they might talk about some old stories, but that's amongst them. You know what I mean? That's not for somebody to even jump in that lane if you don't know what they're talking about. That's where guys like Cortez, like what you just talked about, like that's a very simple line. He said, oh, essays from, you know, real essays, whatever. Like, bro, you don't know that. You don't know that shit. About. You don't know nothing about what you're saying. Now, do Mexicans and blacks beef out here? Sure, yeah, and especially with gangs. But for him to say, oh, real essays don't fuck with Pacoima, like, somebody could have really, really been offended by that for whatever reason. You know what I mean? It's not really a big thing, but someone could have been offended and then done something to him. Then what? Like, you just got to pay it. You just keep it rap and just rap about, you know, rap and attack the man in other ways. Like, but that's just my point to saying that is, like, that's just kind of the culture that the West Coast is from. And I don't feel that, even though we did have, like I said, we had some great dudes out here. Like I said, you go back to Dumbfounded, Awkward.
I was just about to bring it in my top 5. Dumbfounded is in my top 5. Dumbfounded is in my top 5.
Dumbfounded is fire, bro. All them dudes was fire. They just, I don't know what it is, bro. I can't explain it, but all I know is that they never created the kind of buzz that a Loaded Lux or a Murder Mook did. A Murder Mook versus Jay Mills. They just never did. I don't know why.
They had the machine behind them. You feel what I'm saying? Because I've been watching battle rap since it was coming on HBO. I don't know if a lot of people remember that the Blaze battle raps. They used to come on MTV.
Yeah.
I've been watching since forever. And me, I'm on neutral. The reason why I asked you that question is because I'm on neutral grounds. I'm not from New York. I'm not from the West Coast. I'm not from the Midwest. I'm not from down south. I like anybody that's nice. You feel what I'm saying? Anybody that's dope to me, I like them. You feel me? So the reason, that's why I brought up my first question. And what I want to tell you was that certain people that's not from the dominant demographics relates to anybody that they feel is nice because they have no ties towards them. So when you're looking at it from a perspective of outside of somewhere like New York, you're just going to think that it's New York driven. But in honesty, if you want to keep it a buck, the two biggest battle rap events that we had within the last few years was Total Slaughter and Ether. Somebody from the Midwest through the Total Slaughter, and somebody from the West Coast through Ether.
You from Baltimore?
Yes, sir. I'm from Baltimore. Baltimore, Maryland.
Cut that U. That's all. My bad.
You. I got you. Yes, sir.
No, you're right. Look, bro, I'm gonna just keep it real with you, and this is just honest. This is just honest to God truth. Like, the reality of it is, man, most people from the West feel this way because the reality is a lot of East Coast don't fuck with the West, and that's just what it is. And it kind of shows. Yeah, sure, you got Rum Nitty over there now, and I think Danny might be over there too now doing his thing. But look how long it took. And these dudes been doing their thing. Not to say, and me personally, I think Danny's been ready to be on that stage. You know what I mean? And it's just people just kind of look at certain things, and it's like, yeah, there's politics and contracts and all these different things, but there's just a lot of dudes, and I just feel like we do see that they're giving dudes from the Midwest and, you know, all these different people chances, and the West didn't have that. That's why we created our own shit too, on top of, you know, our reasoning, you know, of why we started LA Battlegroundz was also just to kind of go into our inner cities and be able to give dudes an opportunity that weren't getting the opportunity. Now they're getting looked at. But even then, look, you got a Geechee Gotti. Norb saw Geechee Gotti over at the Riot. You know what I'm saying? And that was the first time I met Norbs in person. And he was like, man, he's fire. So now I don't know what the truth or whether it is or it isn't. I heard since Geechee battled Saint at KOTD, now they're no longer looking to work with him. It's like, well, you know, come on, man. Like, at the end of the day,
everything is leverage. Everything is leverage. And I'm going to tell you, see, it's repetitive in leverage because New York already has a certain type of leverage. So when they come out with quotes like, don't copy the imitators, you feel what I'm saying, or we're the number one league, they already have the supporting of them being the home base of where rap started. You feel what I'm saying? If you're already the man, what you worried about everybody else for?
That's a
to keep
fact.
Your brand. I mean, but no, wait a minute. To keep your brand for real. Like, I'm going to keep shooting down because I don't want to give anybody no type of leverage to even come close to me. So it's a business strategy. It has nothing to do with skill. Because let's keep it 100. URL did show a couple bad events, but they lasted off of their name. Now I can go back into 2006 when I really was getting on YouTube. One of the first battle raps that I seen on YouTube that had the most views was Nova versus somebody. I forgot the dude's name. That had like over 6 million views, and that was a West Coast battle.
Mhm.
So it's not like so. The reason why I brought that up,
that was on what Battle League?
I forgot what Battle League it was, but I know it was Nova versus somebody else, and they had a rematch in 2011 when K-Shine and T-Rex was going on their little world tour and whatnot. But I know Nova was one of the dudes to do.
You're talking about that World Federation League, probably that.
Right.
That shit up and disappeared. I'm not dissing the battle or nothing, and it was probably good. But I think a lot of those dudes, their views and all that shit was all fluff.
But that's what I was about to say. Yeah. But the thing is, you can't look at the reception that you're going to get from one specific area. Because that battle got so many views, and I know 6 million people from New York or 6 million people from Los Angeles as a whole watched that battle all together. You was getting people from North Dakota, from fucking Maine somewhere watching that battle because it's people.
So let me ask
not
you a question: if it was that big and it had 6 million views and it wasn't on URL or King of the Dot, why we ain't heard about it? I ain't heard about that battle. I've never.
Because it's a difference between fair weather fans and true fans. I consider myself a true fan. That's why I say it doesn't matter where somebody is coming from. If you're putting out dope material, people are going to see it. Now,
that's a fact.
People fluctuate their views because there's a lot of fair weather fans. Now, if I was a fair weather fan, if somebody was to ask me about what's grind time or what's the most highest viewed on Dope Flop or King of the Dot, and I wouldn't be able to answer that question, you will already know where they stand at. Me, I'm a historian when it comes to battle rap. And the thing is where you're dope is always going to be a place for you. But people judge their value and their worth on how many views they get and not how articulate they come to the battle. That's why I always bring up this question. Do you ever feel as though it's going to be a time where everybody's going to be looked at equal? It's not really going to matter where you come from because no, go ahead.
I just want to say this real quick. Like, with the everybody being looked at equal thing, I think as far as regional, not every single league will, but regionally, I definitely think it will happen. But the one thing that I want to throw out here, just being from the West Coast, like LA is like my second home, man. Like, I got so much family out there and people I know, and, you know what I'm saying, people that live out here in Sacramento that's from LA that show me love all the time, you know what I'm saying? And one thing I could say about battle rap out here, and this is why I love LA Battlegroundz so much, man, is, and Geechee just said this too, y'all giving people who would otherwise be out in the street selling dope, getting into some other type of shit, catching cases, getting locked up, you giving them an outlet to go ahead and be creative and then make some paper and then get their name and their face out there to other leagues where these other leagues are like, hey, you know what? We seen what you did. We want to pay you. You giving them an outlet to do something else, because when you have to start writing rounds, like, I don't battle rap, but I know me, I write a lot, like poetry and stuff, and I know when you have to start writing, you got to just lock in and everything else around you cannot distract, like, no distractions. You got to almost lock yourself in a closet or a room and say, hey, you're not talking to me right now, I'm good. And that's one of the things out here on the West, man, like I really love, what y'all doing at LA Battlegrounds, because people don't understand the West is a whole different beast, man. The street life out here, it's like you're born into it, man. Like literally from birth, man, you are born into an atmosphere that is set up to make you fail. And it's like when you have outlets like LA Battlegrounds, A-Hat, The Riot, when you have these leagues giving these young brothers a chance to put their creativity in a constructive place, it's like, man, I love that. So as far as it being equal, I think regionally it will get there, but it's more meaningful out here on the West than I think New York, because it's given us something that we've never had. So I think meaningful-wise, it means way more to us than it does them. Like it's more than entertainment for us out here in the West.
At this
point, now low-key, now you understand why I like Tay-Rock so much. Let's go and keep going. Let's keep going with the bill. Low-key, you just explained it, but I got you, Gino. Nico, my bad, sorry.
Go ahead. I'm back. Go ahead.
Yeah, but no, I was just saying, like, that's the reason, I really love, what y'all doing, because it's just giving people an outlet, somewhere to go to. It's like, man, I know so many people that hit, like, I just started this, this little media outlet, and I just been hitting so many people up, and I'm like, man, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, man, I can't even thank you and everybody else enough for even coming on and just showing me love, because I didn't expect this coming on. But there's one thing I will say about the West Coast, and I don't know about everywhere else, but I know the West, when you have somebody that's really trying to do something positive, real people will really come behind you and show you love. And that's the one thing I can always say about the West Coast. Streets are not. They will support you if you really coming across genuine and trying to put something across that's going to really help people, because shoot, there's probably somebody listening right now. We got a 3-hour show. There's probably somebody right now for 3 hours listening to this show, and they could have been out in the street doing something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing like with your events. Like you have an event, you have all the battles coming like in April. That's going to give somebody a chance to not be out there in the streets doing something reckless. That's so dope to me, man.
I mean, Master P said it the best for real. He learned all of his game from the Bay for real. If you know anything about Master P, in the deal that he struck with Interscope, he owned 85% of his masters. He said he got his game from the Bay. So as far as support, I see it totally for real. That's why I kind of migrate to other people in their grinds as well, because I feel as though I'm neutral in this. I don't have a home base that I can represent like, this is my guy. I'm just going to hate everybody else because this is my guy. I don't have that. So now I just got to listen to what I like. I am not subjective to anybody. You got a better idea versus
right.
Yeah. But
so
yeah,
salute to the West.
Yeah, most definitely.
I appreciate that.
But yeah, man, once again, man, I want to say I appreciate you coming on, man, showing love. I was looking forward to it when I had B-Dot on the other day. I was like, man, I really want to get, Traz on. Like, I've been wanting to hear, like, an interview from you or just interview something, because it's like, man, I really love what y'all doing out there. So when you had said, like, hey, it's good, let's go, I'm like, oh, cool. Like, so I really appreciate you coming on. And, these last couple minutes, man, I'll give you the floor, man, to go ahead and do any shout-outs, you want to do, plug, upcoming events or whatnot, your music as well, because I know you do music. I'll let these last couple minutes be all you.
Just keep it short and simple, man. Just anybody that wants to follow us at LA Battlegrounds, Battlegrounds with a Z. You can email us, labattlegrounds@gmail. The Gmail is with an S, so if they have any questions. April 15th, LABEEF3, OGs versus BGs come out. We're also going to have CDF tryouts, so if people are interested in trying out, just all they got to do is contact us. on any of the social media outlets or emailing us, labattlegrounds@gmail. And, you know, they can, you know, if they have footage, they can shoot us the footage. We can check that out, and we can work from there. If they have no footage, then they can just kind of set up, you know, that day and come out and do the tryouts.
Most definitely. Well, once again, man, appreciate you coming on, man, chopping it up with us, man. We'll have to get you on closer to the event so we can kind of, you know, break down some of the battles, you know, talk about it a little bit more in depth.
No doubt.
Definitely.
No doubt. Absolutely. Appreciate you guys having us, man. It's love.
Much love. Man. Thank you.
All right. Y'all be cool.
All right.
Peace, man.
Peace. Peace.